Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Stitching with My Bestie. I'm Gina. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're a returner, thanks for coming back. And thanks for all my subscribers. I'm over 1,500 now. I think I'm something like maybe 1,520. I can't remember. So I will be doing a giveaway at the end of this video. And I appreciate everybody who subscribes. And so let's get started. I have quite a few things to show y'all. If you remember last time I was working on trying to get some of my whips like moved forward. So I've been stitching on, like picking one a week and stitching on it for at least 30 minutes a day. So I actually finished 3 things since I saw you last. So I'm going to show you what those are first. And of course this one right here I was almost done with. And this is by Little House Needleworks, and it's called Heart of America. Now the only thing I have to do still is put the buttons on it, which I have right here. The problem was I went to do it and I didn't realize how small those little holes were. So I had to go buy some beading needles. So that's what I'll be doing this week, is putting the buttons on, and then Wednesday I'm planning on going to my L&S, and they actually do framing there, and having leaving this for them to frame it. So I'm so excited to get this done, so I'll have it up for this year. So that was fun. And then the next one I finished is this one right here, and it's been my Sunday stitch for a while. It is called My Sheep, and it's also by Little House Needleworks. Put that down. So I did finish it. I just love this. The only thing I'm going to do, I say I'm finished, but this week I'm going to add the scripture reference right here. I actually left the border off that goes along this edge, so I'd have room to write the scripture reference on it, because this is a Bible verse. And then I'm going to, I plan on doing some finishing this week, because I'm actually going back to the retreat place where Tina and I filmed at several, like I think it was back in November we went, late October, early November, and we're going back this week. And so I'm going to bring some of my stuff, and I'm going to do some finishing while I'm there. So I'm excited about that, and that's one I want to finish. And then the other one I finished was this Wintertide Cardinals. And there's a story about this, is why it's finished, because I don't think I'd had it done otherwise. But when I got to working on it after the last time, I realized that my fabric wasn't big enough for this border. It's supposed to be down here at the bottom. And so it just got miscut, because I had a big piece of fabric, and when I was at the store, we cut it, and she at Accents, and she actually serged it for me, and I guess we just mismeasured or something. I don't know what happened, but anyway, but I think it's going to be cute anyways, because I'm going to do it as a pillow, and I figure I'll put a piece of fabric, down here, and then it'll look fine. So, but I just love this. It is so beautiful. So that's my 3 finishes for this. So now I'm up to, I think I've done 5 finishes, finished 5 things this year so far. And so that's exciting. And it's really been helping to work on stuff for even 30 minutes a day. Because if you work on 30 minutes a day, even if you just do it 5 or 6 days a week, that's 3 hours right there if you do it 6 days a week. Or 7. I do it 7 days. I pick a whip and I work on it for 7 days for 30 minutes. And so that's actually 3.5 hours of stitching a week on something. I'm sorry, excuse me. And some things, that's all you need, to finish it. So those things 3 things I got done. So the next thing I'm going to show you is what I've been working on all week. It's been 2.5 weeks. So I picked some whips and I've worked on them. One of them, I didn't work on this for like every day, but I did work on this like a couple hours this past week, and it's Cinnamon Stars, which I love. And put it on here so you can see it. I'm about almost halfway done with it. Sorry I didn't iron this one. Just took it off my hoop a minute ago. So that's how far I got. I finished all the flowers. I had a few flowers left. I did the pumpkins. I added onto the fence. I actually finished all the white in here. So now I just have to fill in those stones, and then I worked on some of the middle of the house, the variegated. So I got quite a bit done. Oh, and I think I don't remember if I was I think I put this door in too. I think I finished the door, but I don't remember where I was last time I showed it to y'all. Exactly. So that's Cinnamon Stars, which I'm really kind of thinking I might put this up for a little while. I stitched so much in the fall of fall stuff that I'm kind of wanting to stitch a little bit brighter stuff now. And then the next thing I did was I actually started this pattern here called Rosy Morning. Since I finished so many things last time I started this, I'm so excited about this too. And I'm doing it on linen. And it's on 32 count, is it Jobelin? In Sage, I think it's called. And I'm using the Called for Colors. So that's how far I've gotten. It's just been really fun. Here's a little note. What does this say? Oh, I don't know. So that's how far I've gotten on that. And I only worked on it a couple of days, and then I put it up because I really needed to work on some of my whips. But I was excited to get that started because somebody lent me that pattern, so I really want to get it stitched and get her pattern back to her. You know, when you borrow something. Oh, have y'all seen my shirt I got? I got this from Kitten Stitcher, and I just love it. It's it's one of those really thin. I probably could have went a size smaller, but I didn't want it to be tight or anything. So if worst comes to worst, I can always use it for pajama top. But it's so soft and thin, and just so it says how to cross stitch. Make an X on fabric with a needle and thread, and then it says repeat 22,000 times, which I thought that was really funny. And then I bought another one. I don't remember what it says, but I'll wear it next time maybe, and then you can see what it looks like. So the next thing I did was Tina and I had started this pattern, Orchard Valley Quilting Bee, way back sometime last year. I don't remember. And we had talked about doing one thing a month. Well, I started on mine, and this was the one I started on, which is beautiful, but I hate the fabric. I just did not want to stitch on this fabric. It's Aida, it's thick. I just was not enjoying it. So what I'll do with this is I think I'll just make this into a little pillow when I need to finish her dress, and then I'll be done and put their eyes on. But so instead, I started it on this. I want to say this is 20. Is this 28 at count? And it is Lugana in beige, I think it's called. And oh my gosh, I love this Lugana. Let me put this behind it so you can actually see it. Hold on a second. It is so pretty. And I think the colors are so pretty on it. So I'm really enjoying it. So I'm started back on it, and I'm started working on it. And I'm going to work on this 30 minutes a day for the rest of the month and see how far I can get, if I can get caught up. I think Tina's got a couple of blocks done, so maybe I can get caught up with her and we can get back to working on it together. But I just couldn't bring myself to stitch on that other one, and so this has kind of been languishing in my whip pile until I found this fabric. I think I might have bought this when I went to Colorado for Christmas, and I just thought it was beautiful on there. So that's that one. And then Snow Garden, I worked on this a little bit more. I'm still struggling with this because I'm having to choose the colors, and some of the called for colors, they just don't look the same. They're not anywhere near, even the colors on here, but what you'd want. So I'm having to choose stuff. So what I got done this time is I actually finished all of this border here. And then I think I don't remember if I had my house all the way stitched. I think I only had this part done. So I stitched all the house. I started stitching on this flower, but you really can't hardly see it. So I'm thinking about pulling out this, I think this is linen maybe, color. And since it's so close to what I'm doing, and maybe putting another color in there. And so, and then I started down the side here. On the side there is white, kind of a linen or color. But, and I think it'd be fine. The reason why I changed the outside border is because it was so light. And when you look at all the other borders on all these patterns, they're dark. And a friend of mine who had stitched at Tammy said that that was one thing she was not totally happy with on her finished product, was that one border. And so I think just putting one between it though will be fine. So I'm going to stitch a little bit more on that and see how I like it when I get a little bit farther down. And I can always pull it out and put a darker color in there if I want to. But I'm going to finish the peacock next. And this flower I have to make a decision on. And then there's a tree over here. So I'll get to, you know, I've got to do these trees right here and this plant. So I have to pick a greenish color next. And for the leaves here, and that's where where I'm at right now, is trying to decide what I'm going to use for that. So just once I get through with this one though, I think it's going to go pretty quickly because I'm going to pretty much use, I think, all the other colors, the called for colors. I'm not going to change too much whenever I get back to working on the next patterns. So, okay, and then last night, since I had finished my Sunday stitch, I decided to start something smaller. Not small, but smaller. And so I decided to start, I've been dying to stitch this La-Di-Da. And so I have a tiny little start on that, on the border right here. And that's just the top side border. So I'm getting excited about it. Oh, and then this hoop here, this is actually a Duchess hoop. And I went to the flea market last week, and I found this Duchess hoop for $2. I could not believe it. It's got somebody's name on it. It looks like it's got paint or some kind of marker or something on it, but hey, it's not hurting my fabric, so I'm excited about it. And I really like it because it's so light. I've been having trouble with my arthritic hands, and I've had surgery on them and things, and so things that are heavy are just have been bothering me. So this is so light, and I can hold it like this in my hand. It's smaller. I don't have to squeeze it as tight to stitch on it. And so I'm really enjoying it. I actually ordered a couple of more hoops. I have a Princess and Duchess coming, and I think I'm going to try to go to those because I love the Q-Snap, but if they're too big, like my 11 by 11s have gotten too big, heavy for me. So I'm still using my 8 by 8s, as you can see. I do have my 11 by 11 in that I had my Anniversaries of the Heart in, but I might go with the smaller one on that too. I'll just have to see, but just kind of decided that this week. So that was my exciting buy for haul for last week. It's my favorite thing I bought. Let's see what else. Okay, so I've got some plans coming up. I told myself at the beginning of the year I was going to start stitching an ornament every month because I wanted some ornaments for my tree. And last year I think I stitched either 2 or 3. And then I stitched a 4th one as a gift. I'm doing one right now. I'm doing a small as we're doing an exchange on one of my Facebook pages that I'm on. But I haven't stitched one ornament yet, and it's already almost the end of February. So I did pick mine out. I picked out 4 that I'm going to do over the next couple of months. And I've had this one picked out. There's No Place Like Home. And I did kind of change the colors of stuff I was using. I think I'm using For my reds, I'm using Cherry Cobbler, and then I can't remember what I chose for my greens. I chose Pea Pod, and for my browns, I chose Roasted Chestnut, because I want to kind of make them all close to the same colors. But those are really about the only things I changed. Usually I use, just whatever else. If it's small stuff, I use DMC. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do this one. It's called The Tree Lot from Hometown Holidays. It's kind of blurry. Let me open this so y'all can see it. So that's one, two. And then this one is called Cardinal Winter. Put these over here with the little things. When I put them away, they're back in their plastic. And then this one is called Silent Night. And I'll have to choose. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that blue or a different one, since there's no red, but I'll just go ahead and keep it with the green and the browns. Most of these call for DMC, but if it's a big piece that, like, I know where there's a good color change, I might just use overdyed. Otherwise, I'll just use the DMC. So I want to do those, and I started doing my other ones on Heartland, and I think I'm going to go ahead and keep them on Ada. I like stitching on, I've been enjoying stitching on linen and Lugana and the even weave. Oh, and by the way, that La Di Da is my first 36 count fabric, and I'm doing it on 36 count. Oh, what was it called? Was it Legacy, maybe? I think it was Legacy. And so I've never stitched on 36 count linen before, so I'm excited. So that's one project that I was planning on starting. And I'm going to keep doing my whips where I choose my whip for the week and work on it 30 minutes a day. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to work on these for 30 minutes a day. So if I stitch for only 1 hour a day, it's going to be on my whip that I picked for the week and on my ornament. But I never just stitch for 1 hour a day. I stitch every night from 7 o'clock till when I go to bed, which depends on if I have insomnia that night or not. That's just kind of how I do. I didn't get to stitch much yesterday. That's why I had such a small start, because we had a lot going on. We actually went to my grandson's Cub Scout banquet, had to go to my son's and bring him some frozen stuff we had in the freezer for him, one of my sons, and we didn't get home till, I think 8:30 last night, so I only stitched for a little while last night. So I did show y'all this last time, or I told you, I can't remember if I showed it, which is called American Sampler. And since I finished my 4th of July, this is the one I want to do next. So I had found this fabric. It's 36 count Winter's Brew linen, which I love. I think it's beautiful. And I'm going to stitch that on this. I ordered this from, was it 1-2-3 Stitch, I think? Pretty sure it was 1-3 Stitch. And I also got all the overdyed, which is really pretty. I had a few of them, so I had to just order a few. But let me show you all this on here and how pretty it's going to be. Put it on my little board right here so you can see it. I'm being watched by a cat right now. What? What, girl? She sees all this thread. She's like, oh, thread. So here she comes. Oh no, she's got the thread out. So these are the colors, the threads. So I really think it's going to be really pretty. I'm looking forward to getting started on it. But I need to like work on a few more whips. Maybe get one more done before I start this, because it's going to be an... Oh, and then brandy. I forgot. And brandy too. That's the yellow in it. This is so pretty. This is the brandy. So these are all the colors. I can never make it look as pretty as everybody else. Sorry, I had to pick up a thread off the floor before the cat got it. Got to be careful with these cats because they like to eat thread. Do I think I might need a few more colors, it looks like. Let me look on here and see. I have a list in here, and I think these are the ones I did not get. Yeah, I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 more colors. 2 DMC and the other ones, and then I need to put this over here where I can bring it. I'm going to my LNS Wednesday with my sister. She's coming down to the retreat with us, and I'm taking her for the first time to Accents, so I need to get those threads while I'm there. So that's one project that I have. I'm trying to put this back so I don't wonder, oh, where did this fabric come from? Use it on something else. Then the other thing that I'm going to get started on, hopefully this Sunday, if not next Sunday, is my next Sunday stitch, which I chose to do. It's my big toe, and it is Books of the Bible, and I'm going to be stitching it on this piece right here. Well, I say I'm going to stitch it on this. This is what I bought, the 16 count Murky Ada, which I have right here to start on this side because I like the way it looked, so that it will use that part of the fabric and not the bottom. But I'm so enjoying stitching on linen now. I'm not sure if I want to continue on with this, because I could actually use this for something else. So I have to make up my mind by tomorrow. And I don't mind using Ada for some of the smaller things I'm doing, and things that I plan on like seasonal putting out, but I'm finding that for me, this is how I feel about it now, that I'm really enjoying doing stuff on linen. Well, even weave even. I really love Lugana. That Lugana that I was doing, that Orchard Valley, that I just love the texture of it. And these are things I'm going to get framed, so I'm thinking I may end up doing this on linen. But I'll see. I may not change my mind. I may just stick with this. And I have all the... I just chose, instead of doing the over dyes, I'm trying to see, it calls for Espresso, Herb Garden, and Velvet Rose, and then it gives the DMC. I just decided to stitch it with DMC because there's really not that much color variegation, maybe in the words, but I really didn't care about it being variegated. So I'm just doing all mine with DMC. So these are the 3 colors that the DMC uses. So I'm thinking I may just, since I did pick DMC and it's not as expensive, I might spend the extra money and get the linen that I want, even though I've already spent the money on this piece of fabric. I could use this for ornaments and stuff. So that's might be what I do with that. I have to decide that by Wednesday, so I need to think about that tonight. So this is helping me. So that's all of my whips, my finishes, my kind of what I'm planning on doing. I'm not really sure what I'm going to stitch on my whips the next couple of, like I have this week and next week of October, so that's 2 more. And then since I am going to, I'm going to be gone for like 5 days, I may take a couple of my whips that are pretty close to being done and finish those. And then I'll have some finishes next time. And let me just show you my haul. I showed you my, the one thing that I got, I'm sorry, dropped something. I showed you my hoop that I got. And then I got this, I want to say on Stash Unload. And it's a Blackbird design, Women of Grace and Charm. And it's quilts. And it's really interesting because in here they talk about women who served in the military. I'm trying to find one. Like this lady, away from home, she served in the military. And so they did, they interviewed her, and then they did a quilt block. So each lady, they did a quilt block for her. And it's just really interesting. There was a nurse. I've read a couple of them already. One nurse who was supposed to be going to the, she got sent. She was sent to the, I'm sorry, Pacific, but she got sick on the way, and she ended up, I think, in Hawaii and never got to serve. And in the Pacific itself, but she was in Hawaii when she got better. She just stayed there. They didn't send her on, and a lot of the people that where she was going were captured, the nurses, and I don't know how many of them survived or not. But it's just really interesting. And then it does have a cross stitch pattern in here. I'll show it to you, and it's in honor of those who served. It's called a tribute cross stitch, and this is it right here. And I just thought it was really pretty. So, you know me, love Blackbird design. Speaking of, I bought a couple of out-of-print patterns that I found. I got this one right here. It's called Bluebird's Message. Just think it's so pretty. And one I've been dying to find for a long time and haven't been able to. It's called Summer House. Just look at that house. Isn't it beautiful? And so I found some linen, actually some Lugana that I had bought. This is a piece left over from the piece I'm doing, Orchard Valley on. So I thought I could use either this. It's hard to see these unless it's a cream, or this one. This one's really pretty. This is another piece of 32 count. It's called tea-dyed Lugana, and I think I bought this from somebody off Stash Unload or something. So I'm not sure which one. This one here is tea-dyed, and it's got a little bit of variegation to it. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I may end up using this one because it just looks so summery to me. And I like the variegation in it. I mean, I could actually take this one and tea-dye it and get the same effect. And I just love this linen. But this one feels really nice too, this Lugana. So I'm going to use one or the other of these. I haven't got my threads or anything yet because I just got this. But I went through my what I had to see if I had any fabric. So I'm going to do one of those. And then I got this pattern. It's called the Pink House Sampler. And oh my gosh, I just love this thing. I love a pink house. I'm just, think it's so pretty. And it says, the loss of a father is much, the loss of a mother is more. The loss of Christ is such, no other can restore. I just think it's so pretty. And it's done by Mary Jane Carver, 1899. So I just thought it was beautiful. And that one is Plum Street. But I don't plan on starting that right away, so that's kind of like in my box of things I want to do. And then Kitten Stitcher had some, Natalie Willis, I think it was, had on her Facebook page that she had, that Kitten Stitcher had some threads, some limited edition threads that were specifically dyed for her, and they were on sale, and that, so I did go to her site, and I got these limited edition threads, and they are so beautiful. Just love the colors. Let me put them on here so you can see them. So there are 2 browns, a green, a pinkish purple, and a beautiful blue. And oh my gosh, they are so pretty. Whoop! That did not work. Let me hold them still. There we go. This is not my forte. And they all have names. She gave you a little thing in here, and it says the dark brown one is called Road Trip. The pink one is called Excited to Meet You, which is this one. I thought was so pretty. And the green is called, is this the green? Yeah. The green is called There Goes My Cash. Is that the brown? It's hard to tell with these things. Oh, this is the green right here. And these are the browns. This is the dark brown, which is the one called Road Trip. And this is the light brown, which is called The Wee Hours. And then the last one is the blue, and it's called the Have to Go Home Blues. So I got a couple of packs of it because I really loved the, I thought it was really pretty, the colors. And that way, if I wanted to do more than one project, I'd have just a substitute it with, I could do that. So that's kind of what I've bought lately. I do have a couple of hoops coming, but they haven't got here. They don't come till tomorrow. And I'm sure there's other stuff I've bought I just don't know about that I can't remember. But that's everything except for my giveaway. And what I decided to do is I chose 5 patterns, 1 pattern for each, because of 1,500. And I'm just going to do a random draw for comments. So if you want a pattern, just comment. Don't say giveaway, don't say prize. Say I want to stitch, and then I will tell you what they're called, and if you want to choose which one you want, or if you just want them all, just say all. Okay, so the first one is called The Blue Door Shed, and it is by Ronnie Rowe Designs. And I will tell you, that is a lot of stitching, because if I could show you what the pattern looked like inside, it's a lot of stitching in there. That's all like full coverage, except for the outer edges. So, but it is beautiful. So that's the first one. That's number 1. And we'll call that one Shed. So I'm going to write this down. Number 1 is Shed. Number 2 is going to be Hands-On Design, A Year in Chalk, the February. And this is what it looks like. And we can just call this one Heart. So you would say, I want to stitch Shed or Heart. Okay. The third one is by Heart in Hand, and it's called We Won Summer Bird. And we'll call this one Bird. I'm shaking the camera, I know. The fourth one is by Lulu Stitches, and it's called Little Patriotic Fling, and we will call this one Patriotic. It's really cute. Okay, and then the fifth one, I'm sorry, we're on number 5. Get it out of the package. It's by Country Cottage Needleworks, and it's called Sugar Plum Fairy. Is that not the cutest? And we will call that Fairy. Okay. So that's my giveaway, and I will be giving, my next video, you have until my next video to comment, and I thank y'all all for all the comments that you are always giving me. Thanks for all the advice about my sunflower house. A lot of you suggested maybe just using the thread that I chose and using one strand and going over the already stitched part and see if that wouldn't work. I just haven't felt like sitting down and doing that yet. I'm going to probably pick it up in the next couple weeks and try it. And I do appreciate y'all not wanting me to have to pick out all that yellow. And so that's everything. I will be doing another video in about a week and a half, hopefully 2 weeks. I'm trying to do one like every 10 to 14 days now. I know this one was a little late. I meant to do it on Friday, on Valentine's Day, and things got away from me. And then Saturday was our stitching day at the library, and so we had a great time doing that. And I'm not sure when we're going to do it where we're going to do it next month, because our library apparently that we're doing it at uses their room for helping people do their taxes for the next, till the 15th of April, all of March until the 15th of April. So we have to find a new place to do it. I just found that out on Saturday, so I'm looking around for a place for us to, either another library that we can use a meeting room that don't do that, or maybe a restaurant with a meeting room. But anyway, as soon as I find out, I will put that on there. If you're at all interested in joining our Facebook group, it's Stitching with My Bestie. And everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter if you live, close enough to come to our events. It's just a Facebook page. We talk on there about different things and post, stuff we're working on or finish and things like that. And then I always put an event on there for our stitching time. So that way, if you're ever in the area visiting New Orleans, whenever we're doing it on a weekend, you can always come by. So, yeah, go ahead and join our Facebook group. We'd love that. My Instagram is love_to_stitch. And I post on there, things I'm working on. A lot of times before you see it on here, you'll see it on there. I don't always post everything on there because I like to keep stuff for YouTube too. So I didn't post all my finishes and stuff, but I do sometimes post my progress on different things I'm working on. And my email, if you wanted to email me or anything, is stitchingwithmybestie@gmail.com. And so, thanks for joining me, and I really enjoy our time together. Thanks for all the encouragement and all the nice comments, and I will see y'all next time.